Good morning, everybody watching this video. This is Gale Foxworthy. I'm in St. Meinrad, Indiana, which is pretty close at Kentucky line, right?
About 10 miles from Ohio.
10 miles? 10 miles
from Ohio River.
Okay. And I'm with Dan Gogel here at Dan's Dairy in St. Meinrad. Milks 120 red and white Holsteins. And he's going to tell us a little backstory of his bedding nightmare. So I'll start right out asking you, you started using sand when, Dan? When did you start bedding with sand, roughly?
Well, I probably started bedding with sand 10, 12 years ago.
Okay, 10, 12 years ago. And you said to me earlier that sand's pretty pricey. Around here it is.
It's pricey around here.
Okay.
About for a triaxle or a quad axle, it's probably $450 a load.
Oh my, okay. But you agree that it is probably the best for the cow comfort. They like the sand the best.
They like the sand, yeah. and it's best for milk quality.
Yeah, I asked you earlier about your cell count. You brought your phone out and showed me. Pretty impressive. Would you say you would average 100?
For the last year or so.
That's.
Probably like 100.
And you do attribute that to the fact that sand is inert. Bacteria will not grow in it. It will harbor it, but it won't grow bacteria.
Right. And it's all about cow comfort.
It all is all about cow comfort. So we're going to talk about that in a second. Because of the price of the sand, you got thinking about putting something in to save the cows from digging.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly not for the price of the sand, but it is mainly for the
stall maintenance.
Stall maintenance.
Yeah.
To a minimum. And
right. Okay. Well, it's
keep them comfortable.
That's right.
It all works together. If they can dig, if they can cut holes, they're wasting sand too.
Oh, big time. Well, you called me. I can't even remember how long ago now. Not that long ago. It hadn't even been a year yet, right? That you had our bedding savers in. Maybe a year. I don't know.
Yeah, I finished putting them in probably about 10 months ago. So,
before that, you had the product is the Agri Comfort. It was called the Grid mat back at that time, the square.
What I had before?
Right. Yeah. And I don't want to elaborate too much, but you were unhappy with those. And simply, I want to know you were unhappy because of the performance of the mat, sacrificing cow comfort, wasting more sand, all of the above. What was the unhappiness about?
Well, the
maintenance, probably.
The maintenance was the main thing. Once you spend a fortune to put them in, and then the first ones fell apart.
Yeah.
Then I got new ones and had to pay to put them in again. So once I got them put in again, I thought I had the world by the ass, but it come to find out, they wouldn't stay put.
Wouldn't stay put.
And it was a nightmare. Just every couple of months you have to go through and redo the barn.
They wouldn't stay put, which is that maintenance nightmare. But then you found out that you could put a superstructure subsurface of 4x4s and all of that to hold their mat in place, which was a construction project on its own. Right. So you said no.
Well,
you showed me pictures of what they look like.
A world of another job.
Well, not only that.
And the expense.
But not only that.
I don't think it would work completely anyway.
But these cows weren't using the stalls very good.
They couldn't. Unless you go through and redo them every week.
Yeah, no.
You can't.
Okay, so that's history. That's all gone. So about a year ago or so, you put in our bedding savers. We're calling them bedding savers / planet savers, and that's a whole other story, but that's what we're calling them now. And they are trademarked that. So you put those in, and then you sent me some pictures of the cows were all laying down. It looked to me like they were comfortable.
Yeah, they're very good.
So you saw that.
No, there's nothing, and there's nothing. You never have. Once I put them in, I ain't touched them since.
Set them and forget them.
Set them and forget them.
Okay.
For sure.
So they're like field tile. They're working 24/7. You look pretty comfortable. You pretty comfortable down there? So, okay, that's really about the only thing I got on them. I know I did ask you if you thought you were saving some sand, and at that time you said you couldn't really comment on it, but you were getting cows to lay down.
Yeah, they're all usable at all times.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's not a. I'm sure I saved some sand, but for me that's just not been the biggest deal.
That's not top on the list.
I mean the cow comfort.
Cow comfort.
And that's where it comes in. It's your milk checking in.
And you can answer this if you want to, but if you track your cell count that close, you track your production that close too. So after you put those in and these cows started laying down, would it not make sense that they started doing a better job of what they do?
It's much easier.
No, I mean more production. It didn't have that.
I'm sure it'd be some, but not as much as what other people would have probably, because I just don't overstock.
Oh, that's right. You're 100%, well, less than 100% full.
Right.
Yeah.
I always, I mean, there's always extra stalls.
Yeah.
So even if I had issues with stalls,
right.
You know, that's why it wasn't as big of a concern for me.
Yeah.
As far as the production end.
Okay, so that's the story on the bedding saver, Planet Saver, Matt. Now I want to talk a little bit about I'm calling them flex stalls. You had steel stalls in here, probably when the barn was first built.
Right.
Steel loops. Yep. And over time they got bent, they rusted out, saliva, whatever, took its toll. Nothing lasts forever except concrete maybe, but. So then you put these in, how many years ago? 2 or 3?
I don't know, these have been in about 5 years.
5 years.
At least 5.
Okay, and just briefly, what's the one thing, the simple thing that you like about them?
Well,
they flex?
It's easier on the cows.
Okay.
The hand, when you get up, it's a flexible neck rail that can raise.
You like that?
And
okay.
I've never, ever had a cow get stuck.
No, okay.
Not once.
Okay.
Because they can always crawl over them, even if you would have a cow that might be weak for some reason after calving.
Yep.
And,
okay.
But
okay. Yeah.
I've just never had an issue with it.
So the last question I always ask every dairy farmer that I do this video with, same question. You made a mention ago that it's a big investment putting these rubber mats in. They're not cheap. Right. So my question is always the same. And the answers are pretty much the same, but I'll ask you anyway. What, in one sentence, what would you say to a dairy farmer bedding with sand that would make it worthwhile to invest in those mats?
That's one job you'll only have to do once. And it'll always do the job you bought it to do.
Well, Dan, that's what I want to hear. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right.